Hey everyone, this is Troy from Cooper Prince. You are watching Let's Talk Local from 216 Creative Studios. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe.
Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Let's Talk Local. Hey, listen, if you like what you see here today, make sure to go to the old Google box on YouTube, 216 Creator Studios. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, ding that bell for the future notifications. That way you do not miss an episode. Feel free to check out some of our other episodes of other shows out there as well. This is one of the fastest growing podcasts that 216 has, helping the community in any way. Let's talk local, but listen global. Kent Deke Jones is in the house. Kent, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good, Drew. How are you, man?
Good, man. Good. I'm excited. We're really pile driving some of these Let's Talk Locals and coming across great people in communities around the world right now. So you know what? I'll let you hit up a little bit about, we got a great sponsor today. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And today's episode being brought to you through the financial support of our good friends over at Salon Cora. Looking for a salon that feels like family? At Salon Cora, you're not just another appointment. You're part of our community. From nails to pedicures, expert haircuts to vibrant hair color, we offer top-notch services with a personal touch. Our talented team is dedicated to making you look and feel your best, all in a warm, welcoming atmosphere where you're treated like one of our own. Whether you're stopping by for a quick mani or a full hair transformation, exceptional care is always guaranteed. Ready to experience the Salon Cora difference? Give us a call, 815-893-4340, or email saloncora@gmail.com to book your appointment today. Salon Cora, where family, beauty, and care come together. Book online at saloncora.com and make sure to tell them you heard it right here on Let's Talk Local.
What a perfect live read by a bald man.
That's my announcer voice right there.
Wow, you crushed it.
That's it. Hey, you know what? I'm excited today because one of my dearest friends is here with us, entrepreneur Larry Ferrini from A Rose Cleaning. Brother, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Drew.
Absolutely.
So you'll have to corral us because Larry and I can get talking on several topics. But that's just what we do.
I'll reel you in.
Yeah, and but we're here to talk about A Rose Cleaning commercial.
Right.
So,
yeah.
tell me about how to get it start. Why cleaning and why? I mean, because you were in the corporate space for a long time.
Right. I did 22 years in corporate America. I did. I consulted for telecommunications companies. Along almost everybody except Verizon, but oddly enough, they're my service. But I worked in the Fortune 500 space, so I did a lot with corporate America, sitting in boardrooms downtown. Did that for about 22 years until we kind of decided we didn't need each other anymore.
Right.
I think it was 4 or 5 different companies. Worked for the same guy through 3 different companies. Followed him around for a bit, and then the bubble hit, and things got ugly.
Yeah.
My wife Jill had started this company just as a little side business to pull in extra money. She spent about 20 years in high-end jewelry in Syracuse, New York.
Yeah.
And she worked downtown on Michigan Avenue, CD Peacock, right on the corner of Michigan. And I believe it's Lake there, maybe.
I know right where you're at. Yeah.
And when the kids were born, she decided to come out here, realized that there wasn't a lot of money in jewelry out in the suburbs. Kind of fell into Right, exactly. Fell into this quite by chance. There was a security guard at the jewelry store she was at that also had a side gig doing clean outs for apartment buildings.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So she did that once or twice, realized that she didn't need him to do this, and went off on her own. And that's kind of where it was born. Got our first corporate client. Gosh, I would say probably about that time. They're still our client today, by the way.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, and they've grown from one branch to now we have 17.
Wow.
And we are throughout McHenry County. We are in Beloit, Wisconsin, Janesville, Wisconsin, Elkhorn, Lake Geneva, and now we're branching out.
Scroll it across the bottom
until we're branching out until the Milwaukee suburbs later this summer. So,
so 15 years in business.
Yeah, well, 07 is when we officially started.
Okay.
But I've been doing this corporate America for a while.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, and then it kind of dried up.
Absolutely.
A bit, and
everything runs its course a little bit.
Right.
So, what's the vision behind A Rose?
Well, we worked hard on this for a lot of years, and I really think it's about culture.
Yep.
That's really what we're looking to do, is build culture. Like so many other companies, we had high turnover for a while, and we decided to clearly place our focus on the employee and just get better results. And I have people now who have been with me 4, 5, 6 years, kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
In this industry, or maybe any industry anymore.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I've had actually one kid worked for me for almost 3.5 years, and he was going to finish up his degree in criminal justice, and just recently graduated and became a police officer. So he's a police officer
awesome.
now in East Dundee. I just saw him recently. He goes, I would always come back if the money was right. So,
that's great though. I mean, that's huge. The other thing that I love about A Rose and the vision is you're not just happy maids with feather dusters. You actually partner with the companies that you. Right. You look at it as a partnership. We're not just coming in and emptying garbage cans. We're coming in to help your culture as well.
Well, absolutely. I mean, so many places that we do business with, their office is really a tool for them to make money, and we take that seriously. If I remember when I chose my corporate attorney, I walked in, there were stacks of stuff and dust and dead bugs on the windowsills, and I decided that my business was too important to me to do business with them.
Right.
So
don't say their name.
No. However,
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Right. But that's an old dad joke. Wow. Our age.
I know.
I think it was Warner Brothers.
It was the Three Stooges.
Was it Three Stooges?
That was always there.
Not Bugs. Okay.
Yeah.
We really take that seriously. Their place of business is where they make their money, and we partner with them because then we understand that. And I think so many other companies in this industry are about, time is money, time is money, time is money. We kind of look at it the other way. We are not going to be the cheapest by any stretch, and we don't win our contracts on cost.
Right.
We never have, but we win it on quality. And we've had several companies leave us and come back the following year when the contract's up, just because we do a better job. They don't have to worry. And I think that goes a long way for certain organizations.
Just a side note, I worked for a company that you put a bid on, and they decided not to go with A Rose. Now, I say this because about once a week, or at least once every other week, the place was filthy, dusty, and you're just like, what did you pay for? Right.
Right.
I mean, yes, your garbage got put away, And if there were, pretzels on the floor or something,
Mhm.
those got picked up. But I mean, you could literally on the cubicles run your fingers across the tops. They're dusty, it's dirty, and this was a financial institution, right?
Mhm.
And there was some good square footage and a few branches, but I remember you had said no, well, because I brought it up to you. Go, well, we bid on that, and we didn't get it, and it shows. So in the cleaning industry, you get what you pay for, right?
You really do. So, I mean, there's a cost to labor and there's a cost to good labor.
Yep.
And, there's a cost to cheap labor, I say. So, in all honesty, the way we look in the approach is we're going to do your entire building top to bottom. And we use the tools that utilize that too. And, we kind of have delved into this and looked at the different tools that we use. So, for example, and, get into the nitty gritty of cleaning, a lot of corporations use rags, and we don't like the rag system. It's, red rags for bathrooms and yellow rags for kitchens. And
Gotcha.
I have to tell you, I know for a fact that those red kitchen or bathroom rags get used in the kitchen from time to time. If there's one that's clean, guarantee that happens. So we use only Bounty paper towels they're disposable, but we know that anything in the bathroom or the kitchen is going to get done.
And then they're tossed, right?
And then they're tossed, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yep. Otherwise, if you would have said like, we just use all blue rags, that we just never do.
Right.
Blue rags are
right.
Grease rags.
It's an extension. So you're an extension to somebody's business. And I love how you put it with partnerships, Kent. What people don't realize is, yes, other companies, they check off those compliance boxes. What do the people see when they sit down? The garbage can, the litter on the floor, the stuff that people see. It's what you don't see is what's affecting your technology. The dust, the buildup of the dust that gets sucked into those computer fans makes them run slower, burns them out. So you're actually creating longevity of equipment as well as precision cleaning,
Right.
And so when you're going into a place, you want to feel healthy, you're breathing better air, better quality of air. So it's to me, it's worth the extra. If you're bidding at a higher dollar amount, that means there's something about you that you're not gouging, I'm sure,
Right.
but you're bidding a higher dollar amount because you prove that your quality is there. It's proof in the pudding, right? I like how you say too that people have come back.
Exactly.
Which is fantastic. Which is fantastic.
Right. So, I mean, I think we do this, Drew, just the tools that we use. For example, a lot of companies have backpack vacs, and they're quicker, but they're not really very comprehensive tools. I don't know if anyone's ever used one out there, but they're heavy, they're bulky, and they lead to something that in the industry is called traffic laning, where you just kind of zip up whatever on the floor that you can see visibly.
Yeah.
And we don't do that. We use commercial vacs, lightweight commercial vacs that fold 90 degrees. We get under every object and we vacuum every square inch of your floor, which, doesn't at first seem like that big of a deal, but the dust settles into your carpet. You smell that dust.
Well,
in your
yeah, I
carpet,
mean, yeah,
and it definitely makes a big difference.
Here in the Midwest, you get winter. There's salt. There's grime that comes in all the time.
Tracks in,
and I mean, there's all the time. Show me a day that you don't have dust on your dashboard on your car because of the dust in the air. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So everything we do kind of, wouldn't say it's like a maze, but sort of maybe it is, where we help our people and direct them in a way. I mean, I'm sure if we had backpack vacs that we might be tempted to not vacuum the entire floor. It's really tiresome to use those. So we just don't use them.
Yeah,
and we use the best equipment possible so my employees don't get tired. And we really, as they want to build culture, we like to bring in a team, 3 to 4 people, depending on the size, occasionally 5 if it's a bigger property. That way we're only in your facility for a very, very brief period of time.
Wow.
Between
That's smart.
45 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes at the most, depending on the size. My people have breaks in between. So they go route from probably 6 to 8 places an evening. They get their time in, but they don't feel like they're dragging in one place. And I just want to get out of here because it's something new and fresh, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day. So, and it seems to keep them revitalized, and they get a little mini break, 6, 7, 8 times a day as they're going from, one spot in the community to the next.
That's awesome. Now with that, is there a sweet spot? Like, is there a business sweet spot that you love? Like, hey, we absolutely love type of businesses. We're not afraid of any other ones. We just
right. Well, I would say we're probably the majority of I wouldn't say majority of our clients, but if you had to break it down, we end up doing a lot of financial institutions, financial consulting, as well as banking, credit unions. We've done a lot with private schools, and I would say probably real estate firms as well are probably our sweet spot, if I had to say. But we've done a number of legal offices, professional offices. We do, especially McHenry County, there's a lot of manufacturing that has their corporate office attached. So we'll do a lot of those with break rooms. And I think we're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 or 80 different properties right now that we're doing.
That's great.
On a weekly basis. So,
with that in mind, some of the services that A-Rose and you got the website up there for that? So here's the website, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's contact information, but some of the services you'll do, I was reading, how do I want to say this? Like construction cleanup?
We'll do post-construction cleans. So, and we've had partnerships with some builders in the past where once they finish a building, we'll come out and do the drywall dust and so on and so forth. We're working now with a smaller builder out of McHenry, Dixon Construction. So we've been doing a lot with him as of late. He's doing remodels and post-construction stuff. So we're working with that. We'll do move in and move out for our real estate companies. So if someone's showing a house or they've just moved out of a house or before someone moves in a house, a lot of times that's in the contract. So we'll come in and clean that out before the new owners take possession or clean something out before it goes on the market.
God, I wish I knew you about a couple of years ago. And I'll do this right. Listen, services are commercial janitorial needs, windows, carpet cleaning, move in, move out, and clean outs, post-construction cleans, cleaning supplies, and paper products.
Yes.
So you also supply janitorial products.
We do. So as an added service, for our clientele, we'll bring in and supply and do their stocking and so on and so forth. It takes one thing off their plate,
Sure.
Especially if they have several branches, then it's really hard to know what's where. We see it every day. So instead of ordering it after it runs out, we are able to let them know that it needs to be ordered beforehand, or we'll just supply it ourselves depending on how they want to do this. It takes out the delivery cost. So
I love that. So I have 2 questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
First question is, let's talk chemicals. We talk tools, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk chemicals. Are we go green? What are we doing?
Well, it's really your option, Drew.
Yep.
We have some green products that we get out of Canada, and we've used this. I would say it's really kind of changed a lot. So, and we have a relationship with Betco, so we do a lot of Betco cleaning products, and they're one of the standards in the industry. So we did a lot of eco cleaning up until about 2019, 2020, and then a lot lot changed. And so,
right.
So
we need the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's never really come back into eco clean. I think we're starting to see a little bit of that right now, but Betco's got a great lineup of products, and we use that almost exclusively now at this point.
So when you're done, it doesn't smell like the local pool.
No,
Right?
no.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's it. Ooh, hey, somebody use Clorox.
right.
Shout out to Clorox.
Right.
You could write the check too,
That's
right?
right.
No, everything is, we try to use everything that has a really nice, very moderate, dainty smell to it. Something that's not going to be overpowering. So we stay away from the thick lavender smells and something that's just barely a wisp.
Well, yeah, and that goes back to partnering with
Mhm.
that company that you're contracted with, because I mean, so many people have allergies nowadays, or hey, I can't come into work. I mean, A Rose was in here. Now I got a headache because of whatever I don't, the smell of the chemicals that they use, or I got to start late because you got to open the windows.
Lavender makes me nauseous,
Yeah,
right?
right.
I mean, right. Yeah.
So I mean, that's to me, that's huge, because you get that clean feel, clean smell, clean look, but you don't get overpowered by
Right.
the smell.
Yeah, my mom used to say, it smells clean, which means it has no smell.
Growing up, it was Murphy's oil soap or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that was the smell of clean in my house. Right.
Well, oddly enough, for a lot of people, still the smell of pine. They did a great job marketing that. It's still there. That'll probably never change.
Probably never.
But you said something about allergies,
Yeah.
and another thing that happened about 2019, 2020 is when kind of sidebar here a little bit, but remember there were no pets left in the shelters, right? All the animal shelters were empty, and I think everybody on the planet adopted a pet at that time. And when they went back to the office, especially smaller offices, the pets went with them, and they kind of had an open door policy. So that's really one of the things that separate us from everybody else too, is and we'd always done this because we always believed that your dirt was your dirt and your germs were your germs. So we don't drag vacuums with us from building to building to building. So if somebody does have an office dog, and there are a lot of office dogs out there now, their dog dander stays with them with their vacuum and never leaves. So your own vacuum, your own mop, your own bucket, your own cleaning supplies, only there, stays with you 100% of the time.
Cool. That's brilliant. Yeah,
so,
I love that.
And like I said, there's a little more cost. I have 75 or 80 vacuums in my fleet right now. And commercial vacuums aren't necessarily cheap, but
as a business owner, I would never have thought of that.
No.
Literally, I would never.
Yep. I like, there's a lot of places that are like, well, you need to supply your own for us to come use it too. Yeah. I guess that goes to my second question. Actually, now that just forms three questions.
Okay.
So my second question would be, everything in your services, does that work as an a la carte system?
We can build it a la carte because we're small enough. I mean, we're large enough to where we can handle most jobs, but we're small enough and flexible enough to where we can do that for certain. There's places where we don't take out the garbage because they have somebody that does, or, yeah, I mean, honestly, there's some places we don't dust, we should, but they prefer not to. So we were able to build that around, and whatever your desires really are, Drew. So,
well, that works out well because, let's just talk bootstrap or startup companies, right? That get out there, mom and pops, their budget's tight, right? And then they want to grow with a company. Now, this is a relationship build that you're doing. And some of the best sales out there is based on building relationships, because if I got a guy, why would I go outside of him? So if your pricing structure is working within the means of somebody's budget, and as they grow, they're like, hey, listen, we want to add to the a la carte system, which is phenomenal. It's a great idea.
Well, we find that, even though I would say we're employee centric first, client centric second, we do take a great care to make sure our clients are delighted and happy. And it's really easier when you're employee centric because they want to do a good job.
Correct.
And I have we have employment where people don't want to leave. They want to stay. They like what they do, which is, I always say when I hire somebody, I'm like, why would you want to do this job? It's not like you're posting on your Insta account and you're not saying, hey, look at me.
Right.
We're not doing that. Nobody wants to do that. It's not glamorous whatsoever, but it's a good job. It's an honest job. We pay better than I think anyone else in this space for I know that we do because I keep on top of that. And I think our employees respect that. And, they value the corporation. They value the business. They value their work.
Yeah.
I think that really shows when it comes to clientele.
I love the employee thought process. Sitting on top of that pyramid, flipping it up like a funnel and putting your employees first, because they're going to make sure your customers are happy. I love that mindset that you carry with that.
Right.
The third question to that would be, let's talk carpet cleaning real quick. So carpet cleaning, a lot of people do maybe before or after winter. To like Ken said, with the salt and the grime. How does that work? Are you guys steam cleaning? Is it extraction?
We do both.
You do both.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
And it's usually twice a year for the clients that will contract with us to do that. There's not really any place that's too big for us, and we'll do smaller places as well. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You're a one-stop shop.
Yeah, we try to keep with the things that we do well, and that's one of the things that we do well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is cool. So the thing that came to my mind when doing research on A-Rose and knowing you for a long time is there's that old business book, Broken Windows, Broken Business, right? And the gist of that book is that, hey, if you go pull up and the front window's broken out, there's probably something more wrong with that business,
right?
That make you go, When I was in the banking industry and operated branches, I mean, if there was a piece of paper on the floor, somebody tore off a check in a corner of a check or whatever, I'd always make sure to pick that up because that might be a broken window to somebody. So many businesses, uniform people up, right? We got to look good. We got to represent.
Sure.
But then so many people don't have a clean space. Right. Whatever it is, whether it's half-eaten, candy bar or sandwich that has sat there for a couple of days, even if your break room is behind a window, but you can see in there's so many things that can be broken windows to people. And that's what A-Rose really does, is come in to go, we're going to make sure that we're going to take care of several of those air quote
absolutely
broken windows.
Well, it goes to the culture of the companies that that we clean for as well, or really anything, right? So, and Ken and I met each other coaching many years ago. Our daughters, when they were little girls, and both of us had gone up to higher ranks, and I've noticed that environment really changes attitude.
Yeah,
it really does. And I've coached places where locker rooms have been less than sanitary, and you can really see that in the program, in the people that are part of the program, and the kids that are being coached by that program. And the same is true with a business. And if your boss doesn't care how something looks,
right,
and you go every day and you're like, man, this bathroom is disgusting, they really don't care about us. It just goes to show, and I really think that the whole attitude about the company itself is that this is not a great place to work. The boss doesn't really care about us, doesn't care about our environment, and I think it shows in the final product.
Yeah,
we had done work with a company that we walked in, and I swear this place hadn't been cleaned in probably 6 months, and it was a manufacturing company. It was dirty to begin with, and their locker room was absolutely disgusting. And I remember the warehouse manager came up to us after we had been in the initial clean, and he said, "I think our productivity probably shot up 30% since you guys have been here."
No kidding.
And he may have been kidding, but maybe not.
Maybe not.
I mean,
I'm sure that makes a difference.
It definitely makes a difference.
I'm sure that makes
I mean, I recruit, I recruit student athletes from McHenry County College, and there, that's one of the things that I can say is our facility may not be the most up to date facility, but it's clean and it's cool, because it's clean.
Right.
I'm never afraid to bring somebody, bring a
show them.
recruit and her family into the locker room. Say, here's what we got, so we're very fortunate. But that sells a lot.
So oddly enough, Kent, I get, which I will go on to say that the best movie ever made for any entrepreneur or anybody in a leadership role is Moneyball. I got to tell you, I think about that movie. I've probably seen that movie 6 dozen times. And there's times when I might feel like I'm a little off track. I'm like, I need to watch this movie again and understand exactly what it takes to be a leader. And there's a line in that movie where Billy Bean's talking to, who was the owner of the Red Sox? I forget the time, but he goes, no offense to the Coliseum, but this is a baseball stadium. Right. So, and you know that the Coliseum in Oakland was kind of run down and they were on a nickel and dime budget, and who's really going to go play there? There's a scene in the movie where they're charging them for soda, there's soda money, and it's really just kind of broken down, staples and glue held together, where you have the pristine Fenway Park, and who wouldn't want to play there?
Right.
So, and we kind of look at it the same way as, if we do a building, who wouldn't want to work there? Right. As opposed to seeing, the dead bugs in my windowsills, and we've named them now. And we're exactly. So
true. That's hilarious. So what is the, what's one of the weirdest cleaning situations that you come across at A Rose?
Weirdest situation. So,
we'll keep it camera friendly.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's not that big of a deal, but there are, we used to do some gyms, overnight gyms, 24-hour gyms. And you always found the weirdest stuff there.
Right.
So I guess, and it's not, it's not a story it's going to blow you away, but for some reason, week after week after week, we'd find forks in the toilets. And I'm not quite sure how that ever happened.
Like metal forks?
Yeah, metal forks. People were flushing forks. I'm not sure I understood that. Why? But apparently it happens.
It must be a thing.
Is
that a TikTok trendy thing?
I have no idea. I don't know, man. I'm in my 50s. I'm not a TikToker per se.
Forks in the toilets were a thing, and that's probably the weirdest thing I've come across.
That is weird.
I thought about this several times over the years and still can't come up with a reason why.
Of it.
Now, do you guys do emergency cleaning for a non-customer? So let's say
we have,
like a church, had a 50th anniversary or something, and they're not, but they're like, and it was on Saturday, and they're like, oh my gosh, we need you to come in on Saturday evening so that we can have mass on Sunday.
We have done that from time to time, and we're not opposed to doing that. It's a resource issue if the resources are available. Most of our stuff are route, so we are in the same place every day. We're not opposed to it, and we actually just did it this spring where somebody ran into an issue like that in Union, and they were having an event and they needed help, and we went out there and helped them. So we'll shift resources when available.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you put it that way, Ken, because I thought you were going to direction that. Are you known as the cleaner?
Mr. Wolf.
Emergency.
We're not right. We're not that cleaner. No, we're not into that business.
That's good.
Although I will say,
so
maybe that's the weirdest experience I ever came up with. There was one organization, it's not in existence any longer,
correct,
where I think they were bare knuckle boxing in the kitchens. Maybe.
Whoa.
So yeah.
Little hazmat cleanup kind of thing, yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, what was going
little
on?
bloodborne illness training for that one.
There's probably more to that story than I know, but
sure.
Yeah, that's something to walk out. Yeah, well,
right.
Looks like they've butchered an entire.
We're gonna need more crew.
Yeah.
Right. There was always lots of vodka there.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Go figure. So, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, reach out to you because they're like, man, this guy sounds great. Want to do business with him. He can help my business. How do they get in touch with you?
Well, easiest to call the corporate number at 815-581-5558.
Awesome.
arosecleaning.com. another place they can go. We do have social media pages, but I think those are, I'm not sure anyone's shopping for their corporate cleaner on social media.
arosecleaning.com.
arosecleaning.com.
And then right down here, you're going to see free consultation. There's the number. Also, kind of the area is northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin type of an area, from Janesville maybe over to the lake. And
we'll do some stuff in Lake County as well.
Yeah.
We're just a little bit in Lake County, just starting to branch off into there. So.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I know some people out there.
You can also reach out at info@arosecleaning.com as well, for the emailers out there.
Yeah. So, long time, 15 plus years.
Yeah.
And that's another important thing. Cleaning companies don't last if you aren't cleaning. So 15 plus years is amazing in that space. That means you're doing it right. You're looking to grow, you're looking to just continue, keeping things clean. How's your house look? Is your house clean? Is it like a carpenter's house?
Like everything else, it's a work in progress.
Consistently.
It's a work in progress. I have 3 daughters at home. Actually, the company's named after my oldest daughter.
Oh.
Her middle name's Rose and her first name starts with an A. So, I do catch a little bit of grief from the other two about not necessarily having a company in their name, but
name a fleet of vacuums after them.
Right. But my wife's opened up a boutique in Woodstock, and that's named after the middle daughter. And then I have a little side project going on after the youngest that we're trying to launch as well. So
that's awesome. Anything else that you want to throw out there, or give a shout out to, or if people hear it here on Let's Talk Local, just to remind you that they saw you and heard you here?
Yeah. So like I said, we're definitely not the cheapest in the space. But we've really tried to be the best. We have really limited resources as far as sales go. So we don't look to churn and burn. And some of these contracts are annual contracts, and we'll see a client jump from one company to the next, always hoping that it's going to turn out to be better. And it's always turns out to be the same, because most of these promises are, they are boilerplate contracts. And they say, we're going to dust high, we're going to dust low, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And the reality of it is they are bid so low by these corporations that franchise these companies out. I guess
they're on a timer. They get in and get out.
Yeah, they're get in and get out. And
so that's another thing I want to bring up is your staff. You've got office manager, operations manager, yourself. Constant communication. So I've been, like I said, in the financial industry, where it's, we don't hear from the cleaning crew unless we bring something up.
Right. You
guys are in partnership with them. You're constantly communicating. You're constantly going in and, inspecting quality, right?
Well, we do quality checks every night.
Every night. Wow.
Every night, the lead is responsible for that. There's an app that we use that not only dispatches, but also gets two-way communication. Wow. So we know what they need. We know if something's broken. Last night, a client actually had a faucet that was looking a little bit weak, like it was going to break. It's probably been there for 20 years. And we got a picture sent off to the owner of the company. So he knew about it before anyone else got there this morning. So we look after this as if it's our own. My team leads are assigned to different teams, so their properties basically become their properties, and they take ownership in that, and we trust them to do that.
That's unique. That's very unique, because, like I said, I've been not in the cleaning space, but I've been in facilities that have hired it, and we have to put in 3 or 4 emails, and then 3 weeks later somebody shows up and like, oh, well, we're busy and blah,
Right.
We talk about this a little bit on our website. Is that a lot of these larger franchise national corporations, they're they talk to somebody who, maybe wants to start a business and they have 30, 40 grand in their life savings and they buy this franchise and it's sold to them as, we'll do all your customer service, we'll do all your sales, we'll do all your billing. All you really have to do is go there and clean it. You're a business owner, but they're really not a business owner. They're really almost an indentured servant because the way they win these contracts is underbid everybody. And when there's a complaint that comes in, the customer service will say, we'll bring in a different crew. When the different crew is really a different franchise, they pull that cleaning away from that franchisee. And unfortunately, the franchisee isn't making enough money to really hire anybody. So growth is almost impossible. And that's why it's a revolving door with cleaning companies, is because this model's followed over and over and over again. So when my wife Jill and I decided to sit down, we decided to do it a different way and completely flip it on its end. And we expect to keep our clients, and we do, anywhere between 5 and 10 years. So instead of looking for new clientele constantly over and over, we've had the same customers where we become, and it really enhances the business, right? Because now they know they can call me, they can go to us for anything, and we're going to solve that problem. And they're going to, because they've trusted us for the last, half a decade.
Well, that just shows that your business model is proven.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's a great business model, by the way. I love it. It stands out from the rest. And listen, as a business owner myself, I don't mind paying as long as the quality's there.
Correct.
I go and expect to go to a restaurant and pay top dollar, but you better be able to make it better than I can.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it kind of thing. So it's one of those things where his business model is standard, and he's being transparent about it. He's like, yeah, no, I'm not the cheapest one.
Yeah.
But we're gonna make it right for you and become an extension to your business. That's a brilliant idea. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, anything else? I mean, we're right here at the end of time.
No, I mean, that's us in a nutshell.
I
So,
love it.
it's been a great run. It's been, my first foray into running a business. And
You're
we've been doing it for a long time now.
Nice
And
work.
It's killing it.
our growth has been exponential over the last several years. We, like I said, we retain our clients, we retain our personnel. And in today's day and age, that's pretty tough to do.
It is.
Love it.
And listen, the only thorn you're going to have is if you don't get a rose in there cleaning. That's an old 80s song.
Nice.
Yes. An old 80s song.
That's why companies don't hire me for their pitch. No, but seriously, check them out. arosecleaning.com. Call them, love them. They will help partner with you in your business. They'll help level up your business. If you're looking for that one thing that your customers are looking for, it's probably a nice clean space.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys.